Good evening. I'm Adrian Arsenault. Andrew is away tonight. Quebec hits a crisis point, and the rest of Canada isn't far behind.
I know the situation is tough.
The province clamps down days before Christmas and warns there is more to come.
The key is to act fast and as hard as you can now.
Are we doing enough to slow Omicron? Our interview with Dr. Theresa Tam. Plus long lines and longer waits.
There was nothing available.
The frustrating hunt for boosters, and if you're hoping for a COVID test, you could wait days.
I woke up at 6 a.m., but it wasn't good enough.
And the new government benefit for businesses.
It's not right.
The benefit no one is using. A crucial BC highway severed by floods reopens early as evacuees help each other through this holiday season away from home.
We still have each other.
This is The National. The Omicron variant is laying waste to plans with shocking speed. New restrictions are cracking into place tonight like a whip as COVID surges beyond even some of the worst-case scenarios. Just 10 days ago, federal modeling predicted that if Omicron took hold, we could see an average of 7,000 new cases a day by around New Year's Eve. Well, that turned out to be conservative. We are already at more than 8,100 a day, the curve pointing almost straight up. Quebec is driving these numbers more than any other province, and it may be leading another trend. Hospitalizations there are up 50% in just the past week. With new cases breaking records in Quebec 3 out of the last 4 days and hospitalizations clearly already spiking, Matt Damour shows us the government is now taking action.
I must tell you that this situation is critical.
Amid a COVID surge, a sudden change. Quebec's health minister shutting businesses down with just a few hours' notice. As of 5 p.m., bars, gyms, movie theaters, concert venues, and spas were ordered to close, as were elementary and high schools. And working from home is now mandatory for all non-essential workers. Christian Dubé says new projections for the province are expected later tonight, and more measures are likely to follow.
This is unbelievable. And I'm warning you, I'm warning all the Quebecers. Tonight we're having a meeting and we'll have additional information. And based on that additional information, we'll take, again, tough decision.
Indoor gatherings for the holidays are still capped at 10 people, but the health minister is urging Quebecers to reduce their contacts as much as possible. With hospitalizations rising, this epidemiologist says that can't happen fast enough.
As we've seen, Omicron is very, very exponential, and so it's best that we act now, reduce our contacts now, and do all we can now to limit the impact on our health system.
The new restrictions in Quebec mean yet another blow for businesses. Sergio De Silva is the co-owner of a bar in Montreal. He says he understands the need for health and safety protocols, but says the pandemic has been poorly managed.
We do employ 20 people. At this point, anyone working in service, it'd almost be better to work at like Dollarama. Like at least you'll get the hours. Right now, like every 6 months you're being closed down. Like it doesn't make any sense.
The health minister says testing in the province has reached capacity, and he's urging people to avoid going for a test if they're asymptomatic.
I know the situation is tough, but now is the time again not to get discouraged, to be strong.
The province is trying to speed up third vaccine doses, but needs more professionals to step up and administer the shots. Matt Damour, CBC News, Montreal.
Now, they may be tough to swallow, but in a conversation with Andrew this morning, Canada's Chief Public Health Officer said adding restrictions right now is smart.
So I just want to make sure I understand you correctly. More restrictions is what you're suggesting here would be prudent, as opposed to simply relying on the goodwill and good faith of people to socially distance.
I think you have to do both. I think workplaces, more structured gatherings are easier for public health to put restrictions on, but it's very difficult to control every household, etc.
We will have more of Andrew's conversation with Dr. Theresa Tam in about 15 minutes. Now, Moderna says a third dose of its vaccine should offer strong protection against the Omicron variant. The company says booster shots increase Omicron-fighting antibodies by 37 times. That follows a similar claim from Pfizer about its vaccine, but at this point, the data from both companies is preliminary. It has not been peer-reviewed. But epidemiologists do say it is increasingly clear 2 doses aren't enough, meaning once again, it has become a race of a variant against vaccines. And Marina von Stackelberg shows us with Omicron, Canada's rollout of third doses is scrambling to catch up.
They lined up for hours in the cold, hoping to score one of 400 booster shots up for grabs at this Toronto walk-in vaccine site. They tried to book online earlier in the day. That's when Ontario opened third doses to all adults.
There was nothing available, so these clinics are your only option at the moment if you need to get it. Their booking was starting for January 20th, so I wanted to rush down here and see if I can get one of these 400.
It only took 15 minutes for every appointment to be snapped up through Ottawa Public Health. The health authority tweeting, "We apologize for the inconvenience and are working hard to add more capacity and availability." This Ottawa doctor offered up the coveted shots to essential workers and people who are pregnant.
We're giving somewhere between 700 and 1,000. It depends on how long we can keep standing.
Saskatchewan opened up boosters this morning for those 18 and older too. This walk-in site in Regina had to turn people away.
It's good to see, of course, all the people, but it's wrapped around the whole mall in there.
Unlike earlier this year, Canada has the doses. The issue is getting them into arms. Provinces and territories scaled down their mass vaccine programs in recent months.
The writing was on the wall that this was going to be needed.
Ramping back up won't be easy, says this infectious disease specialist.
There has been such significant attrition from healthcare over the last 18 months that we are really working with a skeleton staffing in most areas.
While some will try their luck with lineups, others have booked booster appointments into February, at which point federal modeling predicts Omicron could be infecting tens of thousands of Canadians each day. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Toronto.
Along with that race for shots is a struggle for COVID tests, both rapid ones that you can do at home and lab-confirmed PCR tests. As Chris O'Neill-Yates explains, that is causing frustration and concern.
As the number of Omicron cases grows, so too are the lineups to get free rapid test kits. Quebec started rolling out 4.3 million rapid test kits Monday through pharmacies. Demand was instant and intense, with long lines forming before some even opened their doors.
Because of Omicron now, it's like spreading all over the place, so it's only another measure of, to be precautious.
My life is important, and everyone else's life is important also.
Hi, boy, sir. How are you? Thank you very much. Have a good day.
In Toronto, a pop-up with free tests ran out in minutes as people crowded in to get them. Ontario has been handing out kits in high-traffic areas.
I woke up at 6 a.m., thought I'd get here a bit early, but it wasn't good enough.
If you can work from home and you do not need...
Epidemiologist Dr. Christopher Labos finds the frenzy for rapid test kits worrisome because they could actually cause further spread.
If you stay home, if you don't interact with other people, your risk of getting COVID is zero. So the best and the safest thing people can do is stay home. And then eventually we will get over this supply-demand imbalance.
The demand for PCR tests is also surging across the country. In Ottawa, Public Health says it's reached unprecedented levels. Some report waiting days for a test appointment and longer for results.
They're saying 3-day wait, where before, when I had it done a long time ago, it was like I got it the next day.
The best advice while you wait?
When in doubt, stay home. That's the safest thing you could do at this point.
At this point, many experts say if you think you have COVID, just act like you do. Test or no test.
Thank you.
Chris O'Neill-Yates, CBC News, Vancouver.
So still obviously lots of questions here. Infectious diseases specialist Dr. Susy Hota joins us now. So Dr. Hota, we were just talking about testing. It's hard to get a test for people, but where is the bar for deciding you need to go get a test?
Well, I think at this stage, the bar is very low. The symptoms that people are reporting, especially in early stages of Omicron infection, are very similar to other respiratory viruses. So things like runny nose, headache, fatigue, scratchy throat, sore throat, those kinds of things. It's really difficult to distinguish it from something else. And recognizing that COVID-19 is really quite prevalent in a lot of parts of the country, it's kind of COVID unless otherwise proven. So testing would really help you to understand what's going on. And some of the other things that we used to think about as being very specific to COVID, like loss of taste and smell, don't seem to be reported as frequently in the UK, where they've been collecting a lot of the symptom data. So it's an interesting trend that you should be aware of, and hard, like I said, to distinguish from other infections.
And the more people hear descriptions of Omicron as, is not as severe, is more mild, the more I think people cling to that it's sort of human nature to want to believe the best. But where are we at with that understanding about Omicron?
It's still very unclear. So in early days in South Africa, their experience was that they were seeing hospitalizations, but people tended to have a shorter length of stay. There was less need for oxygen or ICU care. However, in Denmark, that has not been the case. It's been behaving more like Delta in Denmark in terms of the risk of hospitalization. And the UK as well has had quite a few hospitalizations. And so, these are experiences that we have to try and, gauge and see. We don't really know what it's going to be like when we experience the surge here. The other things are, we don't know what the risk of long COVID is from this infection. So it's not just about the sheer number of cases, but those other consequences. And another interesting observation in South Africa is they did note younger admissions, so pediatrics being affected more. So I don't know if that will end up playing out elsewhere as well. Because the populations may differ in terms of immunity levels and exposures previously.
Okay, Dr. Hota, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly says she has tested positive for COVID-19. Joly says she found out through a rapid test, is now awaiting the results of a PCR test to confirm. The Prime Minister's office says it's been more than a week since she saw any other cabinet ministers. Joly will be isolating and working virtually in the meantime. So a lot of businesses and workers affected by these new restrictions, but this time around, there is no broad support program to fall back on. New federal legislation to help came into effect last week. The problem is, so far, no one can use it. Ashley Burke explains.
Chef Harriet Clooney's restaurant is already closed 2 days a week because of the pandemic. Now new restrictions mean new cuts.
It's just the worst feeling in the world.
Ontario recently slashed capacity at restaurants to 50%. Now Clooney's cutting staff hours just before the holidays, and new legislation won't help. The federal government's offering $300 a week to workers directly impacted by COVID-19, but only if there's a lockdown, not restrictions.
It's not right, and it's not helpful. It makes everything really precarious, and it doesn't put the government in a position that they want either, because then we're going to have to lay off a whole bunch of workers.
The new legislation also provides wage and rent subsidies to businesses, but again, only applies if there's a lockdown.
With the removal of those support programs, we expect that in the spring of 2022, we're going to see a hollowing out of the business community across Canada like we have just not seen before.
The NDP doesn't just want business support, it wants to bring back CERB.
We are clearly still wrestling with the pandemic. The time for income support is clearly not past.
But Chef Clooney says restaurants like hers need help and fast. If not, they're considering closing for the month of January.
It's the worst thing I ever want to do as an employer if we don't need to. But given the restrictions, given the variant and the level of alarm that needs to be raised, it may be the most prudent thing.
Prudent, but painful, she says. Meanwhile, the government says it's now looking at if it should adjust the new legislation so it's more flexible. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Okay, we want to take you to our Vancouver newsroom now, where Dan Barrett is standing by with a developing story. Dan, can you walk us through it, please?
Adrian, NHL players will be off the ice until after Christmas amid a surge in COVID cases. The league and the Players Association reached a deal to pause the season through December 25th, starting on Wednesday. 2 games scheduled for Tuesday are still set to be played. The NHL and the NHLPA earlier said they were trying to avoid a league-wide shutdown. The latest plan gives all 32 squads an extended break. In a statement, both sides say players will report back to their clubs on December 26th, Boxing Day, which will be used for testing, practice, and/or travel only. Upon return from the holiday break to team facilities, no individual in the team's traveling party shall enter that facility until they have negative test results. More than 15% of the league's 700-plus players are in COVID protocol right now, with the league now having had to postpone a total of 49 games. Adrian, this only adds to speculation surrounding whether or not NHL players will compete in the upcoming Winter Olympics in Beijing. Back to you.
In the U.S., the Omicron variant has, as of today, become the dominant strain of COVID, according to the CDC. 45 states have reported Omicron infections. The average daily case count yesterday stood at over 130,000 and steadily climbing up nearly 20% in 2 weeks. That is far from the worst peak in January, when it was pushing past a daily average of 250,000. But in New York, a different story. The state set record case counts for the entire pandemic 3 days in a row. Chris Reyes takes us to New York City, a place preparing for a difficult holiday season.
Another day of long lines for COVID tests in New York City. It's a snapshot of a surge happening across the country, boosted by the fast-spreading Omicron variant. New York's governor tried to calm nerves.
It's not March of 2020, it's not even December 2020, just to keep things in perspective.
Kathy Hochul said cases have been mostly mild and hospitalization rates are increasing, but not spiking.
We have to just meet this moment with action and not fear, but also just lean into the strengths we know we have.
That means more testing and vaccine sites, more resources to help businesses comply with mandates, robocalls to residents reminding them to get the shot. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio has a similar plan.
Mandates we put in place are absolutely necessary. They will be enforced. We're going to double down on those because they are necessary to fight Omicron and to make sure this is a brief period of time and one that does not leave too many scars on the people of the city.
On Broadway, Hamilton is the latest production to cancel shows. The Rockettes shut down its run 2 weeks early.
We went to the Radio City Rockettes yesterday. 11 o'clock, we sat down, they canceled it, can't catch a break. And so we understand, as far as the COVID stuff, in all fairness to their customers, they should be making a little bit better of a protocol decision.
On Tuesday, President Biden will be addressing the nation about the Omicron variant and rising COVID numbers.
For those who choose to remain unvaccinated, he'll issue a stark warning and make clear unvaccinated individuals will continue to drive hospitalizations and deaths.
No doubt the timing of the message is not a coincidence, a reminder to all that Omicron looms large over everyone's holiday gatherings. Chris Reyes, CBC News, New York.
Turning to some other news, still in the U.S., a jury has begun deliberating in the manslaughter trial of a former Minneapolis police officer who fatally shot a black man. Kimberly Potter has said she mistook her gun for her taser when she fatally shot the 20-year-old Daunte Wright during a traffic stop in April. Prosecutors say she was criminally negligent and she acted recklessly. And deliberations have also begun in the sex trafficking trial of Ghislaine Maxwell. Prosecutors accuse the British socialite of manipulating victims, grooming them for abuse by longtime boyfriend Jeffrey Epstein. Maxwell has denied all the allegations. She faces up to 80 years in prison if she's convicted. An American missionary group is telling a tale of escape. About 12 of its people held captive for 2 months in Haiti, walking out of the compound where they were kept and then several miles through rough terrain.
They eventually found someone who helped them make a phone call for help. They were finally free.
The dozen, including a Canadian, were flown to Florida last Thursday. The 12 were among 17 people kidnapped in October with a ransom demand of $1 million each. The other 5 reached freedom earlier. The missionary group's escape account has not been independently verified. Here in Canada, a major supply route connecting BC to the rest of the country has reopened. Last month, mudslides knocked out several bridges and washed away roads, closing a big part of the Coquihalla, or Highway 5, to all travel for weeks. Well, today that section of the highway reopened to some essential traffic. Brady Strachan was there.
The big rigs are rolling again, hauling everything from consumer goods to cattle feed on the Coquihalla Highway.
5 weeks ago, this major transportation artery was severed by floods and landslides. But after a round-the-clock construction effort, the Coquihalla is now open to commercial trucks and intercity buses.
Well, it's like a blessing.
For almost a month, truck drivers had to use an alternate route, Highway 3, a windy and steep roadway to get goods to the interior. Trucker Rocky Sukdev-Shuker says it added hours to his trip.
It's been like a real disaster going on number 3. Every time I'm on there, every trip, not just once or twice, but every trip, there's always an accident. Truckers colliding, cars in the ditch, trucks are turning too fast.
The initial estimate to reopen the highway was in late January. To have it reopened today, several weeks ahead of schedule for commercial traffic, is being called a major engineering feat by some truckers.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Like when you saw the damage on the bridges and the highway washed out, I didn't think it was going to be this winter. And here we are December 20th and it's open.
The economic impact of having trucks on the Coquihalla again is huge, as it restores the regular flow of goods from the Port of Vancouver to the rest of Canada.
This truly is the beginning of stability, the beginning of getting us back to a place where we can move goods that we all rely on every day.
It also means non-essential travel can resume again on other highways starting tomorrow. Welcome news for ski resorts and tourism operators.
If people can travel by air or by road, I'm sure we will have a very good season.
While traveling on the Coquihalla is limited, reopening it is a significant sign that BC is recovering from a disaster that crippled the province for weeks. Brady Strachan, CBC News, near Merritt, BC.
Despite signs of recovery, dozens of families affected by BC's floods remain homeless.
I really have a hard time thinking about those that don't have.
Coming up, how evacuees are coping over the holidays. Plus,
now's not the time to gather in big numbers.
Canada's chief public health officer discusses Omicron and what she is most concerned about. And one man with little to give is helping families in a big way.
To me, it's not about the parents. It's about the smile on the kid's face.
We're back in 2. Welcome back. With COVID cases rising as fast as stress levels right now as Omicron takes hold of the country and Christmas, it is a pretty good time to have a chat with Canada's Chief Public Health Officer, Dr. Theresa Tam. Earlier today, she spoke with Andrew about what can be done right now to slow this new variant down.
In as unambiguous terms as we possibly can. If Omicron continues to spread at the rate at which it is spreading, what does the rest of December and January look like?
Well, I think we're still learning about the virus. What we do know is that Omicron is spreading much more quickly. Of course, people were looking forward to enjoying Christmas a little bit more this year, but now's not the time to gather in big numbers. So I think that is the biggest impact on people, and reducing contact is very important at this point. I think that will help preserve our hospital capacity. That's what we're most concerned about. So even if Omicron happens to be milder than the previous virus variants, because it's spreading so rapidly that even a small proportion of people ending up in the hospital is going to overwhelm our systems.
And how confident are you at this point in those initial reports that we heard that Omicron could be milder? Is that true?
All of the cases that we have in Canada so far have been mild or even asymptomatic, but right now it's affecting the younger population. So we don't know what it's going to look like if it does spread into the higher risk. And we want to prevent that from actually happening. Even if it's a milder variant, it can still impact our healthcare system really rapidly. Because it is so highly transmissible, it can creep up on you really fast. That's what we learned at the beginning of the pandemic as well, is that at the beginning, the numbers may seem small, but it's actually still the tip of the iceberg. We don't know where this virus is spreading in many different communities, and it can then suddenly increase what we call exponential growth, and that can occur very, very rapidly.
On masks, are the sort of fitted cloth masks or even the paper blue surgical masks, are those good enough?
You cannot have a single layer cloth mask. We've recommended for a very long time multiple layers with a filter. The medical masks are better at filtering viruses, but more importantly, something like a respirator is a better fit for people's faces in general. So that's why if you can get your hands on respirators, KN95 masks, that's going to give you a better protection. But don't wear it underneath your nose, or wear it underneath your chin. That's really, really important.
A few moments ago, you mentioned communities. What settings are you most concerned about? Where are we seeing the most community spread?
Prior to the appearance of Omicron, we were getting escalations in cases and outbreaks in schools. So there were elementary schools and kids under the age of 12 that haven't had the benefit of even getting the first dose. So that's where we're seeing most of the outbreaks. The beginnings of the Omicron variant outbreak seems to have been occurring in younger people. So we've seen it in educational settings, universities, sports games. All of those seem to be the initial big spreading events. What we're concerned about then is now spreading into other contexts as well. We are beginning to see spread in workplaces. So I think the really important thing is we learn how to protect those workers, making sure they have the best mask possible that you can get your hands on, making sure ventilation is improved in those workplaces, and making sure that they get access to vaccine, because sometimes they work different hours to when vaccine clinics are open. So making sure that they have access is really important.
So let me ask you this then. I mean, when we look at restrictions across the country, varies by province, obviously, but when you look at those writ large, are they precisely where they need to be? Do they need to be stricter? Should they have been implemented a week ago, 2 weeks ago? What are your thoughts?
Well, we've only learned about the Omicron variant for less than a month, so I think we're learning really fast as we go. Now that we know it's such a highly transportable virus, the key is to act fast and as hard as you can now, because putting on the brakes, as we all know, quickly can allow us to resume activities at the other end faster. But I think we need to be taking a more preventive and precautionary approach because of just how fast this is spreading.
So I just want to make sure I understand you correctly. More restrictions is what you're suggesting here would be prudent, as opposed to simply relying on the goodwill and good faith of people to socially distance.
I think you have to do both. I think workplaces, more structured gatherings are easier for public health to put restrictions on, but it's very difficult to control every household, etc. So I think we've all learned how to minimize risk and do our part.
In terms of risk and spread among those who are vaccinated, we used to think of this pandemic as being a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Is that still true?
I think this is still true in terms of the unvaccinated remain at much higher risk for serious outcomes like hospitalizations and deaths. So from that perspective, yes, this is still a pandemic of the unvaccinated when it comes to severe outcomes.
Dr. Tam, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Prime Minister also had a lot to say about vaccines and restrictions when he sat down with Chief Political Correspondent Rosemary Barton. If you missed it yesterday, you can catch his year-end interview on our YouTube channel, CBC, The National. Right after the break, building a bridge between police and at-risk communities. Coming up, one Ontario city is getting some outside help to keep people out of jail. Plus,
material things, they come and go. They can be taken away from you so soon.
left homeless by extreme floods, families tried to get by during the holidays. Stay with us. Welcome back. For families still out of their homes because of those floods in BC, this holiday season will look and feel very different. Many of them are living in cramped quarters. Their homes are gone. Renee Filipponi shows us how they're getting by with some help.
So the water kind of went all the way, filled the whole thing.
The damage is overwhelming for the Bowmans, who were evacuated in the middle of the night as water poured into their Merritt home.
Oh, Papa, look at the carpet.
It will be months before they're able to go home, something the children long for.
I kind of miss like how it looks. It looks all dirty and it used to look all shiny.
Christmas will be spent in the one-bedroom basement suite of this family member's home, where they will focus on what matters.
We're all safe, we're all taken care of, and we still have each other. In the end, just the material things, you know, they come and go. They can be taken away from you so soon.
More than 1,000 people in BC are still out of their homes, spending the holiday season picking up what's left of their lives and figuring out what can be salvaged. Lee McLeod is still living in a Kelowna hotel where he doesn't want to spend Christmas.
To not be home for Christmas, well, that's going to be a little bit, you know, it's kind of a loneliness sort of a deal, eh? Well, loneliness and homesick.
To make this season brighter, this donation center in Abbotsford is giving out food and toys.
We're doing what we can do to hopefully make what will probably be a very sad Christmas for a lot of people, hopefully a happier one.
Krista Spitters shows up with a box of toys to donate, despite losing her home and farm to the floods. Seeing how the community has come together is emotional, and she is glad she has family to stay with this Christmas.
I really have a hard time thinking about those that don't have, and it hurts.
And that's why this season of giving is so important here, especially when so many have lost so much. Renee Filipponi, CBC News, Abbotsford.
Last week, we told you how dozens of people died in police custody after being arrested in connection with public intoxication. Well, tonight, what one police detachment is doing about it. Ontario Provincial Police in Kenora let CBC News ride along to show how officers are now dealing with some of the most vulnerable people. Caroline Bargout has this look.
This is where Ontario Provincial Police in Kenora used to house all intoxicated people who they believed were a danger to themselves or others, but not anymore. OPP Inspector Jeffrey Duggan says for the past 5 years, officers have been working hard to build relationships with the city's homeless. He says that's important because if you get to know people, you can better recognize if they need help.
If you see somebody passed out, our officers will typically, unless they're going to an emergency call, but that's something that, you know, we have to stop, check on that person, make sure they're okay. Even in the hot, somebody could be dehydrated or they could be diabetic.
Inspector Duggan says OPP and Kenora are trying to address public intoxication differently. Officers won't take people to jail to sober up unless they're violent. And in 2016, police fought hard to get the Bear Clan, a grassroots citizens patrol group, to come to the city to help keep streets safe. And they've teamed up with the municipality and the Regional Health Authority to use the local detox center as a 24/7 place where officers can bring non-violent intoxicated people who have nowhere else to go.
I want you to do me a favor.
Try.
Can you check if Kat is still missing in Thunder Bay?
Why was she missing?
Yeah, she was missing
Oh,
for a
yeah?
while.
David Alcock spent years living on the street and still struggles with addictions. He says despite that, he has a good relationship with local police. He says there used to be a time when officers would see someone drinking and stop their cruiser car to pour it out.
Most of them don't. That's a very good thing because some of us took our last $10 to buy a bottle.
The Bear Clan recently changed its name to Makwa Patrol, but it's still providing the same services to the city.
The best place would be for them to be at home, of course, at their own home.
Marshall Hardy says some homeless people have burned their bridges with the local shelters because of past incidents, but his organization tries to help them as best they can. He thinks the police are trying hard too.
I was riding along with the OPP, and you know, I seen a lot of the officers and that within Kenora really try their best to provide those services and that to the people that are on the street.
What's going on?
Duggan believes the relationships he and others have built in Kenora have helped many avoid the misery of being locked in a cell. Other OPP detachments are interested in similar partnerships.
It's not cheap. I'll just say it does cost money. In the end, there's better outcomes for people, so we're hopeful that, you know, at some point, some of our communities that we police will have some of the same resources.
Duggan says the system isn't perfect, but people who haven't committed a crime don't belong in a jail cell. And police here are working with their community to make that a reality. Caroline Bargood, CBC News, Kenora.
Next on The National, the sharp rise in COVID cases put our travels on pause, and tourist spots are being hit hard again.
Now 2 years after, nothing here, like empty beach.
So let's have a look at Goa, India, where fewer tourists means little income for many. Stay with us. We are getting a clearer picture of the devastation from last week's Typhoon Rai. Officials in the Philippines say the powerful storm has now claimed at least 375 lives, with hundreds more injured, more than 50 still missing. Some 400,000 people were forced to flee their homes when that storm hit last Thursday. And that is Chilean President-elect Gabriel Boric, who was welcomed by cheers and applause at the presidential palace today. The former student leader won a presidential runoff on Sunday, campaigning on a platform of boosting social services for Chileans by taxing the rich. At 35 years old, he will become Chile's youngest ever president. Between restrictions, fears of shifting rules, and the virus itself, the Omicron variant has cast another shadow over the global tourism industry. It drives the economy of India's Goa state. And Salima Shivji shows us, for so many there, Omicron is a cruel blow.
The sea as beautiful as ever, but the lounge chairs sit depressingly empty. One of Goa's most popular tourist beaches is a shell of its former busy self.
150 ka madam.
Anita Pawar is trying desperately to make a sale. She started working the beach when she was only 8 years old, selling peanuts. Now it's bags and bracelets. She's never seen it this bad.
2 years before, a lot of tourists here, lot of peoples, good business. Now 2 years after, nothing here, like empty beach.
The dearth of work in a state where more than a third of the population has jobs linked to tourist dollars is acute.
Blue water.
Fisherman and tour guide Eugenio Gonzalez yearns for a return to the old days when the beach was packed.
Now I have no much work, so whatever get small work now with some Indian tourists for like 1 hour trip.
That is a silver lining. Domestic tourists, increasingly vaccinated in the country, are venturing out. Newlyweds Mayank and Pragya plan to stay a few days.
We Indians don't come forward to promote tourism. How foreigners will come and improve our economy?
How will they come is the question. The new variant is complicating what was to be a return to normal. International charter flights were set to resume this month, but that's now on pause again.
So almost 70%.
A huge hit, with the profits from tourists down 70%, says Goa's director of tourism. In early fall, state officials fought hard and negotiated plenty with the central government to bring those charter flights back.
Suddenly we find one day that this new strain has come and, all the efforts have gone in vain.
At this local market, the wait for customers drags on. Salis Sequeira is concentrating on setting up his souvenir stand and staving off negative thoughts. It's in God's hands, he says. We take it one day at a time and use our savings to pay for food. Steps away, Olinda Sequeira tells me she's not made a single sale yet today at the stall that's been in her family for nearly a century. I'm so scared about the new COVID variant, she says. What if everything shuts down again? How will we survive? Survival is also top of mind for the owner of this beachside guest house.
Now I'm starting to get worried. Yes. If we can cross Jan before a third wave hits, I should be okay. Anytime before that, and then no.
She took out thousands of dollars in loans during the first lockdown so she could keep paying her staff. Now she's not sure what's to come. A strange new reality that strikes fear in many here. All Anita Pawar can do is wait it out.
I praying for them to come. I pray for God, oh God, do better everything like before.
Praying the virus doesn't force more restrictions before the sun sets on this tourist season. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Goa.
Coming up, some good news for fishermen in Newfoundland.
I've been at it over 40 years, and it's by far the best season we ever had.
What is behind the hunger for more crab? Next. Welcome back. Ottawa has announced a $28 million plan to help hard-hit PEI potato farmers affected by an export ban with the U.S. due to those potato warts.
We understand the financial and mental stress that this situation has caused.
The money will go towards distributing potatoes to food banks across Canada and safely destroy the surplus. The announcement comes as farmers on the island staged a protest saying more needs to be done to get the goods moving. Fishermen in Newfoundland and Labrador have had no trouble selling their harvest. This has been their most profitable year ever, thanks in part to the pandemic and soaring shellfish prices. As Terry Roberts shows us, there has been a craving for the crustaceans.
This is the big prize, snow crab, a bottom-dwelling shellfish, and the #1 reason why the Newfoundland and Labrador fishery shattered records this year.
Directly into the pockets of fish harvesters in this province has been over $1 billion.
For the first time, the value of seafood landed in the province surpassed $1 billion.
I've been at it over 40 years, and it's by far the best season we ever had. Catch rates were good, prices were excellent.
In a curious twist, the pandemic is partly responsible for this shellfish bonanza. Last year, at the height of the pandemic, the all-important seafood buffet practically disappeared from hotels and restaurants. So pre-cooked and frozen crab and lobster started turning up in grocery stores, and consumers responded in a big way. Well, now this year, the restaurant business has also bounced back,
setting the stage for a market like never before, with harvesters paid $7.60 for a pound of crab, more than double last year's price, meaning a lot of extra cash in the pockets of harvesters, benefiting the economy and hundreds of coastal communities.
I see some of my people now getting new vehicles and doing stuff to their house, and they're spending money because they got a few extra dollars to spend this year. Like, it's unreal, and it's nice to be able to see them, not only me, them be able to afford to be able to do a few different things that they couldn't do in the past.
Harvesters are certainly pleased. They're able to reinvest in their vessels and gear and certainly get ahead.
The lobster harvest was also record-breaking.
So people who've struggled for a number of years now and not done really well, we're talking along the south and the west coast, they're making certainly good money and are really able to draw young people into this industry. There's more interest in that fishery now than there ever has been.
And it looks like the bonanza will continue. Industry leaders say all the ingredients are there for a string of good years to come for Newfoundland's crab and lobster fisheries. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, look at that. Good news. When we come back, the man fixing up old electronics for some very special Christmas gifts.
If it's broken, we'll take the broken parts and we put them into other consoles to try and make everything work.
The story behind this man and this moment, next. So that man concentrating right there, that's Jason Kerr. He's been busy all year collecting old video game consoles and then fixing them just in time for Christmas. So for the past 3 years, he has then been delivering them to families struggling to put something under the tree for their kids. His generosity and his gift is our moment.
It was about 3 years ago. I had pretty much went through all my savings and everything after finding out I had cancer. We didn't have much. I was a single father, full-time, and I had bought a couple of games for our PS3 for my boys. And on Christmas Eve, it decided to die. So I panicked and I had no other recourse, so I went on to Fort Informed and asked if anybody had one that they were willing to let go. And by the morning, I had 4 consoles and about 100 games. So that day, I gave out the other 3 consoles and a whole bunch of the games to other families that I knew. And this year's the overwhelming response to some of the ads that I put out for requests for donations is absolutely amazing. We take pretty much everything. If it's broken, we'll take the broken parts and we put them into other consoles to try and make everything work. I test them all out and I clean them and I get all of the machines ready. Each console will come with 2 controllers and about 10 games. To me, it's not about the parents, it's about the smile on the kid's face.
No kidding. Lots of people have good ideas. Not everyone can execute like that. Jason says he has about 30 consoles to deliver this year. He's got some elves helping him out in Edmonton. He's got lots of old ones, but always looking for new ones. That is what the kids want. That is the National for December the 20th.